By far, the most important aspect of owning a Peloton is going to be selecting the right location. You want to make sure that you put it in an area of your home so that when you have people over, they see it, maybe even have to walk around it, so that they immediately know that you're better than they are. What's up, guys? Welcome to Break It Yourself. Today, we're going to be reviewing the Peloton. And first and foremost, I want to say, I am not an Ironman. I'm not a triathlete. I don't even cycle outside of the home. I have done spin classes, a few years of spin classes, so I do have that experience, but I just want to kind of ground you before we start that I'm just a regular guy that does enjoy fitness, and I'm going to share my experience with the Peloton. Now, I'm going to start off with some general information. The cost of the bike, as you probably know if you're researching this, the basic one is $2,245. Now, that is the package that we went with. And also, the pedals that we got are the ones that your shoes strap into, not the ones that you would clip into with cleats. So me and my wife are both using this bike. We didn't want to pay for two sets of shoes, which would have been well over $200. So we just went with the ones that work with our tennis shoes. Also, the Peloton works with most Bluetooth heart rate monitors. We're using a Polar heart rate monitor, and it's been working just fine. Now, we ordered our Peloton back in January before all of the COVID madness. I imagine the demand for getting one in home is a bit higher now, but back in January, we ordered our Peloton, and it took about a week after we ordered it, and then it was delivered and set up. So that's included in the cost, but we had a professional installation essentially. So those two guys came, dropped it off, set it up, leveled it, and got us all good to go. Now, I will note one thing about our original bike that we got. The handlebars were a little messed up. One handlebar was a little bit closer to the screen than the other one, and Peloton's customer service was phenomenal in responding to us. So we reached out, and within a day, they dropped a new set of handlebars into the mail and set up for a tech to come actually install it. It looked very simple to install new handlebars, but they wanted to send someone out to do it and not have me do it. So that was very easy and one really minor thing, but their customer service was great. One other thing that I will say is that we got the sweat mat as well that goes underneath the bike. It wasn't cheap, but we had a referral code from someone else, so we had $100 in accessories to get as well. So I'll put our referral code down in the description below, and you can use that to get $100 in accessories when you purchase a bike. So we got the sweat mat and a few other things as well. And the last thing I'll say just in this general portion is check the secondary market for sure. There was a Facebook group that I was perusing for a while that was called Peloton Buy, Sell, and Trade. And there just weren't any that popped up in our area or close by that I figured I'd want to go get. But you can get a pretty steep discount on a Peloton if you're patient and live probably in a bigger, more populated area. You'll have them come up more often. But I've regularly seen them go on the secondary market for $1,600 to $1,800. Now, let's get into the pros of what we love about the Peloton bike. And first up is the programming. Now, I'm going to start off by saying I don't think the Peloton actually motivates me to exercise more. So if you're looking at the Peloton thinking, oh, this is going to be it. This is going to be the magic missing link that's going to finally motivate me to exercise and I'm going to change my life. I hate to break it to you, but that's going to come from you, not from this bike. It's going to take a lifestyle change. We were already the types of people that were exercising, and we wanted to add this into our exercise routine. One, for me to do a little knee rehab, and two, because my wife likes spinning. So I just wanted to start by saying that yes, this bike is very motivational once you are on it. I do not think it's motivating to actually work out. Now, let me get into the programming. They have tons of different programs to choose from, lots of different music. Their catalog is very extensive, a lot of different instructors. So there will be, I am confident, there will be a genre of music or an instructor that you would like and enjoy the classes of. So that is a big pro, is that the library is absolutely massive. But I do want you to know, I do not think this bike is going to transform your life and turn you into someone that loves exercising. Now, If you do have the willpower to get on the bike is very motivational once you're on it. The instructors do a great job of motivating you to push yourself in those classes. Also, if you're competitive, they have a leaderboard, and that really helps me get motivated as well. The instructors help, as well as that leaderboard really push me to keep trying harder and harder and harder every class that I take. Also, if you know someone that has a Peloton, they have a camera built in, and so you can take classes with your friends and you could see each other on that camera and motivate each other that way, or at least make fun of each other sweating your butts off. The next pro that really pushed us over the edge on the Peloton versus other bikes or getting a bike and just using an iPad was that the reviews said, and now I can confirm this is true, the bike is silent. I mean, it barely makes any noise at all when you're exercising. So if you had headphones in, you're not going to make much noise at all other than your heavy breathing or maybe just your screaming in distress. But it is very quiet. So it would be a great option for someone if you've got young kids, want to exercise during nap time, or if you're an early riser before the rest of your household, you're really not going to disturb anyone at all when you're using this bike. I know this is self-explanatory, but the in-home convenience is just great, especially now that a lot of us have transitioned to working from home. It's very nice to have that option to just hop on the bike, get a workout in for a half hour, whatever you want to do, and then get right off and you're done. I normally do high intensity interval training, and so I do that at home as well. So I have to set up, get my rack out, get my bar out, my weights, and it's about an hour just for about a 30-minute workout as far as like setup, cleanup. This is very convenient. You can wake up, hop on, get that workout in, hop right off, and you're done. And you don't have to worry about programming because you've got tons of different classes to choose from. Another thing that I like and have seen so far is continual improvement. They're releasing updates. They're constantly trying to make the classes better. You're also not pinned into, like if you would be in a regular spin class, like let's say you physically went to a spin class, but you only were available from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and maybe only one instructor was available at that time and you didn't love that instructor. This gives you the freedom. You can either do a live class or you can go back and do on-demand classes. So it really doesn't matter what time you're working out. You can pick from tons of different instructors. So there are two types of monthly memberships that you can get for Peloton. You have the all access membership, which is $39 a month. And then you also have the digital access membership, which is $12.99 per month. Now, one of the great things about being a member is that if I'm not home, if I'm away on business or on vacation, I take that app with me, and I've done treadmill workouts just in a hotel gym using their treadmill, but bringing my iPad and doing an actual like Peloton tread workout. I've also done stationary bikes in a hotel and used the iPad as well. And then on vacation, for jogs, I've used the app and just had headphones, and it gives you verbal cues as far as like sprinting and what speeds to go, and I really enjoy that as well. Their library is very extensive. It's not just going to pin you to the bike. They've got weight options as well, ab work, yoga, tons of content in that library, and it's going to continue to get better and better and better, and they're constantly adding new things. So I think that is a very big pro, especially if you're someone who you're interested in cycling, but maybe you don't just want to focus on cycling. There are a lot of options for you once you get that membership to Peloton. Now, I will just touch on the differences in the memberships. The all access membership for $39 is going to let you get on the leaderboard. It's going to use all of your metrics, and you're going to be able to have multiple profiles. So me and my wife have our own profile. If you just do the digital one for $12.99 a month, it's only for one person, and it's going to give you access to the library, but you're not going to be able to compete on the leaderboard, and it's not going to use your metrics. All right. Now let's touch on the cons. So the first thing, and I think this is pretty obvious, is the price. The bike is very expensive. Ours at $2,245 plus almost $500 a year if you're doing all access. I will say the quality of the bike is good. I would say the quality of this bike is probably in the order of like $1,000 stationary bike, and then you've got the giant iPad screen, which adds another $700 or $800 or so. So it is a bit overpriced in my opinion. I do think it is a good product though, but it is very expensive and $39 a month is pretty steep. Another con, for the price, I expected the audio quality coming from that tablet screen to be much better. The audio is just not good coming out of those speakers. So it doesn't bother me much because it's just an exercise, but if you're an audiophile, you're gonna hate the tinny sounding tin can audio that comes out of those speakers. Another con is the leaderboard. I love it for the competitive aspect, but filtering wise, my wife pointed this out to me. I just leave the leaderboard up there. I never filter it. You can filter by gender and also by age group, but that might be a little discouraging for some people that, if you wanted a leaderboard that was more with people kind of in your class of where you are, I know that you might be thinking about, well, maybe that's not as motivating, which could be the case, but especially like body types or body metrics, you can't really filter on that. It's just on gender and just on age. And the last con, and I think this can really be said for any tech, is that fear of new models, right? So we have, I think, what's considered the third generation. So if you go back to the first generation, the screen is very different, and they actually at one point stopped supporting it and were like, hey, we'll give you a deal to upgrade your screen to the newest screen that we have. So I do have some fear going forward as they keep progressing that I might be left behind at some point. I know that can be said about all tech, but for the cost of this to get to a point where I would be unsupported, I do not love that idea. I feel like for $2,200 that I should be supported with that screen indefinitely, or they should have a very cheap way for me to upgrade to the newest tech. I hope this review of the Peloton bike was helpful for you in your search for a stationary bike at home to get in a good exercise. Ultimately, it is going to come down to your willpower. So do it for the health of it and get something that's going to get you moving. Thank you so much for watching Break It Yourself. Don't forget to thumbs me up. But the most important thing that you can do, other than giving me a thumbs up and commenting, is to share this video. The algorithm will love that. So if you know someone that's interested in exercising from home or that's interested in a Peloton bike, please share this video with them. It might help them out. Also, I've got a link in the description below if you're going to buy one. It's a referral code. Please use that to support Break It Yourself. Thanks again for watching Break It Yourself, and we will see you next time.
You're done in 5, 4, 3, 2,